Hey, Wellness Crew, and welcome to Yoga with Jenna. I am so excited that you're here to join me for today's practice. I'm really looking forward to it. So, what we're going to do today, as we typically tend to do, is start with sun salutations. However, last session was session 50, which was supposed to be mobility. So, we're going to go ahead and do it today. Instead of just waiting. We're going to go ahead and do it today, but I do want us to be a little bit warmed up so that way we can really, be warm as we're going into these stretches and all of that. So we're going to go ahead and begin with breathing in, lifting our arms up above our heads, swan diving forward into a forward fold, relaxing our head and our neck. Walking our hands forward into plank, coming into hovering, coming into upward dog, tucking our toes underneath for downward dog, stepping our right foot forward for crescent lunge, bringing our hands back down to the mat, stepping that right leg back, bringing that left foot forward, again for crescent lunge, bringing those hands back down to the mat, stepping that left leg back, going back into downward dog, walking our hands into our feet for forward fold, and slowly rolling up. Breathing in, raising our arms up, swan diving into a forward fold, relaxing our neck. We're going to come into a half raise, come back down into forward fold, walking our hands forward into plank, coming into hovering. So only our palms of our hands, our balls of our feet, and our toes are in contact with the mat. No other part of our body, unless you have long hair or your hair's on the ground or something, except for that, should be touching the mat or mats. Coming into upward dog, trying to get our shoulders down and back, tucking our toes underneath for downward dog, stepping our left foot forward so we can come into crescent lunge, lowering our hands back down, stepping that foot back, bringing the right foot forward to come into crescent lunge, bringing the hands back down to the mat, stepping that right foot back, going back into downward dog, relaxing the neck, and walking our hands in towards our feet, forward fold, and slowly rolling up. Breathing in, bringing our arms up, swan diving forward into a forward fold, relaxing our neck, walking our hands out into plank, coming into hovering, coming into upward dog, tucking our toes underneath for downward dog, relaxing our neck, stepping forward with our right foot to come into crescent lunge, Bringing our hands back down to the mat, stepping that right foot back, bringing that left foot forward for crescent lunge. Bringing the hands back down to the mat, stepping that left foot back, going back into downward dog, relaxing the neck. Stepping the left foot forward, the right foot meets it, forward fold. Slowly rolling up into mountain pose. Coming into airplane and back into mountain pose. Airplane and mountain pose. Raising up our arms, inhaling, swan diving forward, exhaling, stepping our feet back so we can get into plank. Hovering. Upward dog. Tucking our toes underneath so we can get into downward dog. Relaxing the neck. Stepping the left foot forward. Coming into crescent lunge. Bringing our hands back down to the mat. Bringing that left foot back. Bringing that right foot forward. Coming into crescent lunge. Bringing the hands to the mat. Coming back into plank. Hovering. Upward dog. Downward dog. Stepping that right foot forward, the left one meets it, forward fold. Slowly rolling up into mountain pose. Coming into airplane. Mountain pose. Back into airplane. Mountain pose. Breathing in, raising our arms up. Coming into a swan dive, into a forward fold. Relaxing the neck. Stepping our feet back so our legs are nice and straight. So we are in a plank position. Coming into hovering. Into upward dog. Into downward dog. Stepping the right foot forward for crescent lunge. Bringing your hands down to the mat, bringing that right foot back, stepping the left foot forward, coming up into that crescent lunge. Bringing the hands back down to the mat, stepping that left foot back, going into downward dog, relaxing the neck. Stepping our left foot forward, the right foot meets it, forward fold. Slowly rolling up, coming into mountain pose, into airplane. Mountain pose, into airplane. mountain pose, into airplane. Mountain pose, into airplane, and we just got one more. Mountain pose, into airplane. Back into mountain pose. From here, what we're gonna do, actually, we're gonna come onto our hands and our knees, because we should do this first. So we can get our spine a little loose and nice and warm. So we start in tabletop position, but what we're gonna do is lift up our head, lift up our butt, and then bring the crown of our head toward our mat and arch our back. Inhaling, exhaling. Three more. From here, coming into a quick child's pose. I'm gonna set this up real quick. So that way, there we go. And coming back into a tabletop position, tucking our toes underneath, coming into downward dog, relaxing our neck. Really pushing through the palms of our hands. Breathing nice and deeply. Slowly walking our hands in and slowly rolling up. All right, so coming into a straddle position, we're going to go ahead and fall forward. Breathing nice and deeply. Grabbing around your ankles and pulling in just a little bit while keeping your neck and your head relaxed. We're going to go ahead and turn the right foot out. We're going to bring that left foot in. So there's about, 2 to 3-ish feet in between. And we're going to fall forward for pyramid. I have very tight hamstrings. And going ahead and having our foot facing forward, turning that left foot out, and going ahead and falling forward for pyramid on the left side. Remembering to keep your neck relaxed. And going ahead, turning that left foot back to center, widening out our stance just a little bit. What we're going to do this time is bring our fingers to be interlaced at the small of our back. We're going to fall forward again, be nice and relaxed, and we're going to go ahead and let our arms fall forward as well. From there, we're going to go ahead and let our arms or our hands go back to the small of our back. We're going to release that interlocked position. We're going to heel toe our feet in just a little bit so we can get into a sumo squat. Bringing your hands to your mat, pushing yourself up. We're going to go ahead and come onto our knees. We're going to bring our fists to the small of our back. We're going to let our head fall back, trying to keep our hips over our knees for a kneeling back bend. Tucking our toes underneath, we're going to go ahead and reach for our ankles with our hands and come into full camel. Very slowly and very carefully coming out of camel. We're going to go ahead and come into a seated saddle position so we can get into full saddle. Let me not hit anything. So we're going to go ahead and start with coming onto our forearms. If you're good right here, because this is going to be a long hold, probably one of the longest of this entire session. So if this is comfortable for you, by all means, stay right here. That's totally fine. If you want to go into full saddle, you can go ahead and come down all the way to your mat. You can have your palms on your mats, whatever. Or you can go ahead and have your palms facing the sky to be, again, having that intention of being in that receiving position from your higher power and the universe, whichever you prefer. So this is obviously a really great stretch for your quads. So if you have tight quads, this is one of the answers. And really let yourself breathe into any places where you feel tightness. Set an intention, try to have it, anything that is, tight, balled up, to let it be free, to let it, just be let go of. Literally envision the muscle releasing. Nice deep breaths. You got about 2 more minutes in this position. Less than a minute. And slowly beginning to get out of saddle, especially after being in that position for so long. Next thing we're going to do is come into puppy dog. So our hips are going to be over our knees. We're going to extend our arms out. You can have your forehead on the mat or you can have your chin on the mat, whichever you prefer. From there, we're going to go ahead and slide our right palm towards us. We're going to thread our left arm through that hole that our right arm has made for a bit of a supine twist as well as a shoulder stretch. All right, slowly coming out of that threading the needle position so we can go ahead and get it done on the other side. So having our right arm straight through that hole that our left arm has made for us. Also getting a twist in the spine. And slowly releasing from this position. We're going to go ahead and come back into a child's pose. And we're going to go ahead and bend at our elbows to bring our palms of our hands to the back of our upper back. Releasing those arms, going ahead and coming up into a seated saddle position. We're going to go ahead and do, again, our eagle arms. We're going to start with the right arm underneath, the left on top. They wrap around each other. So we're seated in saddle, but we're doing like half eagle because we're doing the arm positioning for it. And releasing those arms, shaking them out. Now your left arm is going to come underneath for the eagle position in our arms. And relaxing, shaking them out. Going ahead and bringing our legs straight in front of us. We're going to reach up overhead. And this will be a longer hold. We're going to try to grab onto our feet if possible, relaxing our neck. Slowly rolling out. We're going to go ahead and open up our legs for a folded straddle. Relaxing the neck. And slowly rolling out of that. We're going to go ahead and do some work on our right leg. So we're going to start with half splits. And we're going to fold forward. All right, from there, we're going to go ahead and bend that knee. We're going to extend that left leg back nice and straight. And we're going to come into a full pigeon. So forehead on the mat, arms nice and extended. Okay, and then from there, we're going to slowly come up. Let's kick that leg out just a little bit. And what we're going to do is go ahead and come onto our right side split. So obviously your groin does not have to be on the ground. That's not what this is about. It's about getting that stretch in your hamstrings, in your inner thighs, and in your calf. All right, and then bringing that right leg back, going ahead and extending our left leg for half splits and falling forward with our head. All right, very good. We're going to go ahead and bend that knee to come into pigeon, extending that back leg straight behind us, extending our arms straight in front of us, and bringing our forehead to the mat, if possible. And slowly walking our hands in, going ahead and kicking that left leg out just a bit. And we're gonna go ahead and get into our left side splits. And yes, for a lot of people, the left side is worse than the right. That's totally okay. Don't even worry about it. This is, again, it's about getting the stretch. It's not about needing to have your groin on the mat. All right, very good. Now what we're gonna do is go ahead and open up our knees so we can get into frog. On our, on our forearms, if you want a deeper stretch, just push that butt back. And after this position, we have Shavasana. Yay! We have about 35 seconds in this position. All right, and then remember sliding forward to get out. And let's go ahead and get into Shavasana. Great work today. I know mobility isn't always everybody's favorite, but that's okay. It's good for you, so. And just being so proud of yourself for doing the holds that you did. If you had to modify at any point, that's completely fine. If you had to, not go as long, that's completely fine. It's okay. The point is that making the effort. The point is taking this time for yourself and doing something for yourself that is going to be so beneficial to your body. And these mobility sessions, the reason why there's, let's see, 0 and 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, they make up, or they will eventually be making up about 33% of the Yoga with Jenna content. And that's simply because that's how important mobility is. And that's how important it is to be able to take certain poses and apply them the right way, you know, to ultimately get the results that you want. You know, mobility is something that, you know, people either at a certain age or maybe they just didn't have it. I mean, there's a lot of different things, but you know, I have to work on it too. It's something that is important for my autoimmune issue. So it's these are probably more my favorite because you have to be pushing against a mental wall of holding a position for a longer period of time. And the only reason that I don't like talk and stuff during it, which I think might make it easier, is because if I'm not using the watch, because I don't want to always use the watch, then I'm counting my breaths. And I know how many breaths it is for me to get to 30 seconds, to get to a minute. So that's the only reason that I won't be talking. Otherwise, I'd be like I do during Shavasana. And this is when you're supposed to be quiet. But no one ever said I was good at following rules. And now that we're still and in a position that's not like a stretchy position, you probably do feel some change, some difference. Because, like I said, I mean, we had at least one, well, I think only one, but we had one 5 minute hold. So your body right now is in recovery mode. It's going to feel a little bit different. These are all good things. But in order to have this be maintained, in order to have it continue, you have to continue to do mobility type work. So that's why it's supposed to be on the sessions that end with 0 and 5. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and extend my arm out to get onto my side, to get onto my knees, to grab my remote. Thank you so very much for joining me today for Yoga with Jenna Mobility. um, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and or follow. I would greatly appreciate it. And I am very much looking forward to the next video. Be well, stay wild.